Ready?
Yeah. Okay.
Count it off.
You ready?
Count it off. Mr. Tempo. Very good.
1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1.
When my legs were smaller and my body more powerful, my dad's favorite album was 10 by Pearl Jam. As a kid, I didn't get it. I don't think most kids are supposed to get Pearl Jam or their appeal, because if I understood Pearl Jam, I think I might be a little permanently scarred that my dad chose to play me the song Jeremy when I was 10 years old. For those of you who don't know, the song sounds like this. And it's not exactly a child-friendly song. The song is about a kid who struggles with mental health issues, bullying, and neglect, and ultimately decides to take his own life at the front of his classroom one morning. Lead singer of Pearl Jam, Eddie Vedder, basically wanted to spread awareness about a story that he had read in a newspaper and try and get people to think about and keep an eye on the mental health of their children. And while it's a sad and powerful message from the band about mental health, especially in young people, would I play it for my 10-year-old? Why is that a question I should have to answer? Of course not. But, to be fair, my dumbass didn't realize what the song was about until I was 22 years old, so when I finally confronted my dad about it, his reaction was more or less, duh. So this isn't an attempt to lambaste my father for choices he made over a decade ago, because I think he just knew how smart his child was. Instead, this is just my way of saying, Jesus Christ, music surprises me a lot. Look, you can look up songs with surprise meanings on Google and you'll find hundreds of different artists talking about how songs mean something different than they come across as. For example, Harder to Breathe by Maroon 5 was about studio pressure rather than a rocky relationship, and Some Nights by Fun was about Nate Ruess giving up on writing indie music rather than war. I don't know what I thought that song was about. The power behind songs like these comes from the layers of different meanings they have to the artist, and how the artist chooses to convey that meaning to the audience through different stories and sounds. I'm not talking about that shit though, because my problems start way less deep than that. Songs that were pretty blunt in meaning not only used to surprise me, but they had me convinced that I was smarter than other people just because I figured it out. The very first song that my friends and I huddled together and puzzled out was Only the Good Die Young by Billy Joel. We put our minds together and figured out that it was about Billy Joel trying to convince a Catholic girl to sleep with him. Those are the first words of the song. The girl's name is literally Virginia, and we were philosophers the likes of Aristotle for figuring that shit out. Now, what did we used to think the song was about? Much more fun, darling, you know only the good die young. Breaking the rules and having fun. Yeah, I couldn't puzzle the sexual nature of that song out quickly, despite the fact that at this point in my life, I was finding sex in every song.
I knew you were trouble when you walked in, so shame on me now, blew me to places I've never been. Now I'm lying on the cold hard ground.
I got sex on the ground rather than I put my trust in you and now I have to struggle because of that choice.
But if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like nothing changed at all?
I got close your eyes during sex. Sex, but they say there's a heaven for those who will wait was just about buds, breaking rules, and having fun. To be fair, I did grow up in a town where all the hyper-religious parents spent a good few months celebrating Take Me to Church as a Christian anthem.
Amen.
And I think that the whole world got tricked by Hey Ya, and that one's super impressive because Andre 3000 literally makes fun of us for not getting the song in the song.
Y'all don't wanna hear me, you just wanna dance.
It's not often that a singer makes fun of his audience in the song and the audience still doesn't get it. I think the song that finally got me to realize that I wasn't as smart as I thought I was is a song by the Barenaked Ladies called It's Only Me, The Wizard of Magic Land. Wait, hold on. I used to really like this song because what I thought was the underlying message of self-confidence and self-love really spoke to me as a teenager.
Speaking as a guy who's really got it going on, it's only natural. It's only me.
And let me talk for a second about confidence. See, I was one of those teenagers that was absolutely convinced that they were one of the best and smartest people on the planet Earth. And so I'd play this song for everyone, thinking it reflected me perfectly. The singer was so confident about himself, yet so casual about it, saying, "It's only me." I got this confident meaning from one of my role models, who felt very similarly about this song. And one day, one of my friends casually brought that whole tower tumbling down with 6 words that still foul my brain to this day. This is the Masturbation song, right?
Can't think of anybody else I'd rather spend someone on one time with this.
Every person I know, every girl I liked, every family member who rode in the car with me listened to me boast about a song that I connected so deeply to that, in hindsight, is very obviously about masturbation. It was embarrassing. My whole view of the song was shattered, but the role model I was talking about, he had been doing it for longer, and so my man went through the 5 stages of grief. No. Well, maybe he'd understand the actual meaning of the song if he spent less time under the covers and more time in the workforce! Perhaps the true masturbation is self-confidence, and by allowing myself to be confident in a way, I am masturbating? Yep, that's masturbation. Alright, changing the topic over to songs that actually are a little harder to decipher, let's talk about something topical. Topical when I wrote this. Damon Albarn, the leader of the musical side of Gorillaz, recently came under fire for claiming that Taylor Swift doesn't write her own music. To be fair, the quote was taken out of context, but to be double fair, in context it basically means the same thing. Now, it feels like maybe he was just a little misunderstood. I'm a fan of the guy, and far be it from me to stroke a fire. But did you guys know he's done this before? In 1997, in the US, the song Number 2 took the US by storm. It hit 55 in the top 100, but took the US by storm feels more dramatic. It had this thrashing guitar that was paired with the lead singer shouting in between incoherent but still energizing verses. The song was by Albarn and his famous Britpop band Blur, and despite its US popularity, it was actually meant to clown on America and its obsession with grunge at the time. And we fell for it. The woo-hoos and incoherent lyrics were him making fun of the vocal styles in grunge music. The guitar is purposefully amateurish, and the whole thing is a huge departure from Blur's normal style. The song could literally be a companion piece to Weird Al's Smells Like Nirvana, but people still take it sincerely. In fact, I've seen it used against Albarn when he criticized Taylor, with people bringing up the song to make fun of his lyrics, not knowing that it was him making fun of our lyrics. Just saying, he likes making fun of our music. You didn't hear it from me. I want no part of the drama. Alright, here's one I picked up from my research on my last video. 3005 by Childish Gambino is not a love song. This may not seem at all evident by the lyrics.
Therefore, I've lost all hope of a happy ending.
But if you listen closely, it's there.
Cause we all just ticking time bombs.
Gambino says the song isn't even really about a relationship. It's about the fear of being alone and the chase after a relationship to alleviate that fear. The lyrics are meant to be absurd. No matter what you say or what you do, I'm gonna be with you forever. I just don't want to be alone.
No matter what you say, what you do, when I'm alone, I'd rather be with you. Fuck these other niggas, I'll be right by your side till 2005.
Hold up.
John Lennon is probably one of the biggest pillars of music with deeper meanings. Hundreds of his songs are used all over the world by music fans as gotchas to casual listeners. One of the bigger examples of a Beatles song that most people don't understand is the song Hey Jude. Hey Jude is so clever that John Lennon purposefully didn't even understand it. That's right, the guy is such a clever songwriter that he let Paul McCartney write that song, and then he believed that it was about him, when in reality, McCartney wrote it for his son. Brilliant move by Lennon. Yeah, Hey Jude is fun because despite how clever a songwriter Lennon believed himself to be, writing The Walrus as a faux deep song, writing Imagine as a Trojan horse for communism, he didn't know that Hey Jude was written about how hard it must be to be John Lennon's son. John put it in an interview with Playboy that he thought the line "Go and Get Her" was about John and Yoko, when in reality the song was about John divorcing his former wife and distancing himself from his son Julian. With that, I think I feel a bit better about my own stupidity. My best friend has never written a song about me putting my own son through turmoil and then had me sing backup vocals on it. Yet. They probably could. I definitely will just go along with anything. So yeah, this one was fun for me. If you've never looked up a song that you like or maybe just don't understand, I would highly suggest it. It's such a joy. I've said before that music means something different to every person, and I really like saying that because it makes listening to music feel unique. And now this adds a whole new layer onto that. Obviously, music can mean different things to you at different points in your life, but it can also mean different things to you if you put research into it. It adds depth to things, and when you learn something new about a song, listening to the song after you learn it is like transforming it. And it can be fruitful too. An example from my personal life comes from my experience with the album Swimming by Mac Miller. I had heard online that the album was all about Mac Miller's breakup with Ariana Grande, so when I first listened to it, I didn't really look for meaning because I thought I had the meaning. It was a breakup album. However, I looked more into it and found out that most of the album was written before he had even broken up with Ariana Grande, so when I went back the second time, I actually looked for the meaning and tried to figure out what he was talking about, and that has made it one of my favorite albums of all time. So yeah, do homework, it makes music more fun. I'm a bit of a geek, but that's in vogue right now, so whatever. Anyways, my stove is on fire, and my roommate hates that, so I'm gonna leave.